Hi guys, and welcome to the start of Season 7 of the Themed Months review series, where anything goes. This is Random Month, and also, as well as being episode 1 of Random Month, it's also the 150th episode of this review series in general. That's right, and how's this for a start out to Random Month? All grown up. What is All Grown Up? Well, All Grown Up is a sequel spin-off series to Rugrats. This prequel spin-off series ran through the 2000s, as a matter of fact, for 5 seasons and 53 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. It tells of the adventures of Tommy and the gang 10 years after Rugrats. Well, actually 9 years after. Because Tommy in the series is 10, not 11. Although Angelica does turn 13 in the first season, in the episode Lucky 13. Now, if you want to hear my thoughts on the original series of Rugrats, you can do so in Kids Month, which is season 4 of this show. I've reviewed it there. So now, what adventures do the All Grown Up gang get up to? Well, they get up to such adventures as, well, I'm just gonna name a few notable episodes from the series. There's Thief Encounter, in which Tommy starts stealing in his sleep. How? He starts sleepwalking. Now, there's a standardized test coming up for the year 5s. Sorry, I mean the 5th grade class, which would be year 6 in our equivalent terms here in the UK. And out of the stress of it, even though he's playing it cool, he starts sleepwalking, and this causes him to steal from other people in the neighborhood. Dill actually gets the finger of blame pointed at him first when he tries to return what Tommy took. Wow. Okay. Well, there's something Dill shouldn't have done then. He shouldn't have tried returning the items, because it made him look like the guilty one. Tommyfoolery. Do I even need to describe this one? Tommy goes around playing pranks on people. Enough said. Yeah, there you go. Lucky 13 is about Angelica's 13th birthday, as I mentioned previously in the episode. Enough said about that. And then there's the episode which started the whole series, Coup de Ville, in which Lil doesn't want to act like twins anymore because of Phil's immaturity. And she thinks she's too mature to hang out with her own twin anymore. She goes off to all these mature kid parties. And when they end up saying something about Phil, yes, they say he looks goofy. Not realising that she and Phil are twins, which means they're calling her goofy too. And this gets her to drop the I'm not a twin anymore act. So she it ends the coup, basically. Their parents actually, what makes Lil actually stage the coup in the first place is Phil's immaturity and learning that Howard and Betty, their parents, plan to send them off to Twins Canyon, a summer resort for twins. Okay. Now, I don't want to tell you too much about every episode in case this episode makes you want to see the series for yourselves. So, all that's left now is to tell you what I think of the series. Well, as a sequel spin-off to Rugrats, it does the job. It tells excellent stories of the Rugrats 9-10 years later. If you want to get the concept for the series, they do have a pilot episode at the end of Rugrats, all grown up. It served as a backdoor pilot. So, what will the next review be? Aha, the beauty of random month. You'll have to wait and see. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a random magical time. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 2 of Random Month, the season of the show where through September I'm picking reviews at random. And this time I thought I'd talk about a British quiz show that's been going since 1972. Mastermind. Now, in this show, contestants come on to answer questions on their specialist subjects for, well, it's now 2 minutes and a minute and a half on general knowledge, but it used to be 2 minutes for each. And then, as I said, their first round is 2 minutes on their specialist subject. Whoever's in the chair, and whichever specialist subject they have. It could be anything from the history of British monarchs to Harry Potter. You know the deal. And then the general knowledge round. As I said, it was 2 minutes for that round as well. Now, unless I'm mistaken... No, I am mistaken. It's now 2.5 minutes for the general knowledge round, not a minute and a half. So, yeah, I've corrected that mistake. Sorry. Over the years, the show has been hosted by 5 different presenters. And those presenters are as follows. Magnus Magnusson, Peter Snow, Clive Anderson, John Humphreys, and Clive Myrie. So those are our 5 hosts. Clive Myrie is actually our current host. He's been hosting it since 2021. So how long did each of the other hosts host the show for? Well, the original host, Magnus Magnusson, helmed the show between 1972 and 1995. So the first 23 years. Peter Snow took over in 1998 and left in 2000. Clive Anderson took over in 2001 and left in 2002. Then John Humphreys hosted the show between 2003 and 2021. And Clive Myrie took over in 2021 and has been hosting the show for the last 3 years. So, there you go. And also, over the modern history of the show, they have also had celebrity versions and a junior version which only had 29 episodes. And during the Magnus Magnusson era, one Chris Hughes won the show, and he even became international mastermind, which, yeah, it was the last year they actually had that version. They shut it down afterwards. And he would go on to become an egghead. Okay. We may talk about that later down the line. Now, I thought I'd give you the history of the show, but I've been watching it since 2003. So, since John Humphreys was hosting it. And so that's the era I know the show from. I came to learn about the earlier eras, well, as I was watching him host it. So I can only review the episodes from John Humphreys through to Clive Myrie. And they are good episodes. Of those 2 hosts, though, I think I'm preferring Clive Myrie. So, okay, guys, that's it for this review. For those of you who live here in Great Britain, if you've watched Mastermind every single year since it started, who's your favourite host? I probably know you're going to pick Magnus, aren't you? I probably know that. But yeah, you know. It would still be nice to know in the comments below. Of course, you'll have to wait and see what the next review is going to be for. So until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have some magical time. Hi guys, and welcome to episode 3 of Random Month, the season of the Theme Months series, where through all of September, I'm picking out films, shows, all this stuff at random to review for you guys. And for this episode, we're going back to the Power Rangers series, this time for the 7th season, but 5th series produced of the show. That would be Lost Galaxy, which first aired in 1999. There were 45 episodes, and this is the first season of the show to air after the Zordon era. And it's the first major switch up for the cast, as the entire main cast, apart from one character, was switched out. We'll get to that. When it comes to introducing the heroes and the villain of this season. So, without further ado, the heroes of this season are the Galaxy Rangers themselves, and they are Leo Corbett, Damon Henderson, Kendricks Morgan, Corone, Maya, Kai Chen, and the Magna Defender. Now, two things you need to know before we move on. The reason there were two Pink Rangers in the season is because Kendricks is killed off, spoilers, quite early on in the season. And Corone has to pay, and Corone replaces her. And the Magna Defender's real name is Mike Corbett, and he's Leo's older brother. The mentor for this season is Commander Stanton, who appears in 26 of the 45 episodes. Now, okay. Other characters who appear. We're gonna get into the villains next. But I haven't got pictures of them all. So just so you know, our main villains are Trakina and Captain Mutiny. And how could I forget the other villains in the season? Okay, so that would be Destruxo, Barbarax? No, hang on. Tretron, Villamax, Kegler, Scorpius, and Deviot. Now, I'm sorry I came into this disorganized. So we're gonna stop looking up these characters now. And I'm gonna say what I thought of the season. I thought it was a good season. And it's definitely worth a watch. Anyway, that's it for this episode. As usual, you're gonna have to wait until next time to find out what the subject of the review is gonna be. And until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have us a magical time. Hi guys, and welcome to episode 4 of Random Month, where through this month of September, I'm picking topics at random to review. So, we've all heard of this game show before, I'm assuming, because it's been on all over the world, but its original first broadcast in this country was the 4th of September 1998. What am I talking about? Of course, I am talking about Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? The quiz show that took the country by storm on the 4th of September 1998 by being the first in television history to offer a top prize of £1 million. Now, let me tell you a bit about the show's history. Here we go. So, who it was hosted by, what it entailed, and if they bagged any winners here in the UK over its original history. And you can bet it fell subject or victim to a scandal. So, let me introduce you to the UK host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire from when it originally started on the 4th of September 1998. It was hosted by this man. This is Chris Tarrant, who hosted the show originally between the 4th of September 1998 to its original cancellation on the 11th of February 2014. With his famous catchphrases, "Is that your final answer?" and "But we don't want to give you that." Now, the aim of the game was simple. The contestants would have to answer a series of general knowledge questions correctly in order to win the top prize. 15 questions was what it was originally, with safety nets coming in at £1,000 and £32,000. These would be the 5th and 10th questions respectively, with other amounts ranging between £100 and £500,000. That's £100, by the way. That's on question 1, and £500,000 for question 14. And to help them along the way, they would have 3 lifelines. It did eventually become 4. The original 3 lifelines were the 50-50, in which 2 of the answers were taken away. Phone a friend, in which the contestants were allowed to phone a friend of their choice for 30 seconds to tell them the question and hopefully get the right answer out of them. And ask the audience, where they just polled the audience for their opinions on what the answer was. Now, the format did eventually change to 12 questions in 2007. Which means question 2 was the £1,000 safety net, and question 7 was now £50,000. They did this in the hopes they'd find more £1 million winners. Now, we're going to get to the £1 million winners in a sec. Not literally. They did, in the end, implement the clock, but it was too little, too late, because this format change was unsuccessful. And as I mentioned before, the show was cancelled on the 11th of February 2014. Pardon me. Now, over the course of the show's history, they found £5 million winners. And these 5 lucky winners of the £1 million were as follows: Judith Keppel, David Edwards, Robert Bridges, Pat Gibson, and Ingram Wilcox. Now, guys, this is where we get into the scandal portion of the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire's history, because in 2001, a coughing scandal happened during the taping of one of the episodes of the show. And, well, I think it'd be better if I actually just told you who these people behind the scandal were, because it involved someone coming on the show and cheating his way to the million. So I'm going to tell you the full backstory of the coughing scandal. Here we go. Charles Ingram and his wife Diana conspired with a fellow contestant, Taquin Whittock, to cheat on the show to help him win the million. Now, I'm gonna wind back a bit to tell you the full story and to give you a synopsis of the story. Basically, it all started when the first member of Diana's family to be bitten by the game show bug, Diana's brother, Adrian Pollock, who had appeared on the show 4 times, got into the hot seat to try and win the million and bowed out somewhat graciously at £32,000. I say somewhat graciously because he was heavily in debt at the time, according to the play Quiz, which was based on this scandal, and needed the money to pay his debts back. Anyway, he was followed then closely by Charles's wife, his younger sister, Diana, shown here, herself, who came on the show and bowed out somewhat less graciously at the same hurdle. So when it came time for Charles, Diana's husband, who was also shown in this image, to appear on the show himself, well, on his first night, he played well up to the £32,000 mark, but where it started to get dodgy was on his second night. And this, after his first night, is where Tequin Whittock comes in, as Diana spoke to him on the phone to set up this cheating strategy. So by the next time Charles appeared on the show, with the help of Diana and Tequin, who is shown in this image here, coughing every time Charles brushed over a correct answer, helped him to climb all the way to the top prize. But it wasn't found out that they'd actually cheated until a few days after the fact. Although they were suspected of cheating, as the producers actually noticed something dodgy was going on. Now, I should point out that Tequin at this stage was a fastest finger contestant. And of course, this all culminated in the scandal I'm talking about in this section now of this episode, because this led to Charles's check getting stopped because they found out he cheated, and Charles, Diana, and Tequin all being arrested and charged with conspiracy to steal a valuable asset, in this case £1 million, by deception, cheating, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And of course, at their trial, they all claim not to have known each other, despite being the conspirators and co-conspirators in this whole scandal. And of course, they were found guilty of their crimes and were sentenced to a 6-month suspended sentence, which is hardly anything at all for what they did. They committed fraud live on national television and got away with it, basically. Now, this scandal was then dramatized in the play and TV miniseries Quiz, which I might just point out is an excellent dramatization and is worth a watch. It's actually one of my favourite dramas. Well, before I end the show with my opinion, I forgot to mention during that segment that it was also documented on a Newsnight special, the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Major Fraud. And you can actually watch the episode, even though it didn't originally air, because it was pulled from the airwaves due to the whole scandal. But you can watch it on YouTube. So go and watch how this all unfolded. Charles's Game. The Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Major Fraud. And what the show did then return in 2018 to celebrate its 20th anniversary, then hosted by Jeremy Clarkson. And has been kind of going strong since then, but aired sporadically. So what do I think of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Well, it's always been a favourite quiz show of mine, and it still is to this day. And if it's one of yours, I hope you appreciate the effort I've gone to make this episode of Random Month. Anyway, that is it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, but you'll have to wait and see what it's going to be about. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have us a magical time. Hey guys, welcome to episode 5 of Random Month. We're all through this month of September. I'm picking shows, films, whatever at random. I'm rolling with it for the review, and I'm giving brief histories on some of the things I'm picking for the reviews. Such is the case with the topic of today's review. It's a science fiction TV series that's been going on for nearly 60 years. It has to do with time travel a lot and fighting evil space monsters, of course. And it started out as the story of an old man, well, an old alien man and his granddaughter traveling through time and space. with two, at the time, unlikely companions. Yes, of course, I'm talking about Doctor Who, the show that's been going since the 23rd of November 1963, and was the brainchild of Sidney Newman, the head of BBC Drama at the time, who pitched the show to the network and then to the young woman, who he would then appoint to be his producer, the producer of his show. A woman who he'd worked with previously on ITV as his assistant. And this woman's name was, of course, Verity Lambert. And she would go on to produce the show for the first 2 years, through 1965. And who would get the director's job, you might be wondering? Verity Lambert producing, and with Sidney Newman as the head showrunner. Well, the director's job originally went to an Asian man, I might just point out, who was working for the BBC at the time. And his name was, of course, dun dun dun, Waris Hussein. Who hailed originally from India, as it happens. He would direct the first set of stories before leaving the show to pursue other projects, leaving the director's job to another employee of the BBC, Mervyn Pinfield, which, of course, I do not have a picture of. So that's why I'm mentioning him here. He was on the creative team of Doctor Who as well. Now, one of the show's original writers was a man named Donald B. Wilson. I didn't get a picture of him either. So, that's our main creative team for the original show. And, well, I think you know what happened next. With the creative team in place, it was time for the casting call. And they would go on to cast 3 people that would go on to make the show as big as it went on to be. As per the pitch, 4 people. 4 people who would go on to make the show, actors this is, who would go on to make the show as big as it went on to be. And as the show was pitched to be about an elderly man who travels through time and space in a police box, who was a 650-year-old alien. Of course, they gave him a granddaughter and had 2 of her school teachers as the companions. Now, of course, it was a teenage granddaughter, I might point out. So, who were the original cast of Doctor Who in 1963? Well, the roles of these characters went to William Hartnell as the First Doctor. Carol Ann Ford played Susan Foreman. William Russell as Ian Chesterton. And, of course, Jacqueline Hill as Barbara Wright. So, with the cast in place, it was time to start making the episodes. Now, the first ever story was An Unearthly Child. The original pilot version of the episode ran for about 30 minutes, and, well, Sidney Newman didn't like it because he thought it'd be too scary for kids, so he told them to reshoot. So we got the televised version of the show. Now, unfortunately though, tragedy would soon strike, as the day before the episode aired, John F. Kennedy, US President at the time, was assassinated. So the episode of An Unearthly Child received ratings in in the 4 million range, which wasn't what they were expecting. So the following week, they had to repeat the first episode at the request or on the demands of Verity before they could air episode 2. Now, the other 3 episodes that make up this story are a caveman story. I'm not joking. 100,000 BC is an alternate name for the story. So, now, as you know in the show, companions come and go. So, by the Dalek invasion of Earth, Susan leaves, leaving just a 2-person, like a 3-person TARDIS crew. And by the end of the chase, Ian and Barbara leave. And this then paves the way for new companions to come in their places. Now, a new companion did replace Susan, Vicky, a young lady from the future. Now, as time went on, William Hartnell became ill and was becoming increasingly hard to work with. So, they had to axe him from the show in the most gentle way they could. And so, in order for the show to go on, they came up with a brilliant concept to change the leading actor by way of a genetic ability that the Doctor's people had. Now, we didn't know what his people were called at the time, as he was the only one we knew. But the concept was regeneration, the ability to change one's physical appearance entirely on the brink of death. And they chose Patrick, well, actually, I'm now going to tell you who all the other actors to have played the Doctor over the years were. 2 more stepped into the role of the First Doctor over the years, because William Hartnell sadly passed away in 1975 due to his illness brought on by his heavy drinking and smoking. Arteriosclerosis. So the other actors to have played the role since William Hartnell were Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, Tom Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, and Jodie Whittaker. Now, before we close the Past Doctors section, I just need to point out that Sir John Hurt did play a version of the Doctor in the 50th anniversary special, The Day of the Doctor, The War Doctor, and also, posthumously, since William Hartnell's death, 2 other actors have stepped into the role of the First Doctor. And those 2 actors are Richard Hurndall in The Five Doctors and David Bradley in Twice Upon a Time. Now, I should point out about David Bradley being cast as the First Doctor. That came from his performance playing William Hartnell, playing the First Doctor, in An Adventure in Space and Time, which I can't show you any images from because I didn't download any. So, yeah, there you go. Now, up to the up-and-coming actors. You might see a familiar face in this category. No, scratch that. You will see a familiar face in this category. Because the up-and-coming Doctors are David Tennant, again, and Ncuti Gatwa. Yes, that's right. David Tennant is playing the 14th Doctor. The 14th? Didn't he play the 10th, I might hear you ask? Yeah, he did, but they cast him again as Doctor number 14. You might also call him the Bridge Doctor, because he's bridging the gap there between Ncuti Gatwa and Jodie Whittaker. Now, Ncuti Gatwa was originally cast as Doctor number 14, but because of David Tennant's recasting as the 14th Doctor, he's now playing the 15th Doctor. And his time in the show won't officially begin until next year. Now, I've gone over quite a lot of history of this show, haven't I? So, I'm gonna list off a few of the Doctor's other companions from over the years, and those have been the likes of Vicky, Stephen Taylor, and Sally, maybe Sally Sparrow, but not really a companion, Ben and Polly, Jamie McCrimmon, Zoe Harriet, Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart, who starts out as a colonel and then becomes a brigadier, Wilfred Mott, Donna Noble, Rose Tyler, Martha Jones, Ace. You know, there's just the companions list goes on and on and on. I've mentioned who the OG companions were already, so no need to go back into that. So now, guys, I've seen a fair chunk of the classic series through those Blu-ray sets over there on the shelves. Yeah, there you go. And I've loved every single one that I've seen so far. And for New Who, I still need to get caught up on that. But I've loved every episode I've seen of that so far. With the exception of a couple, by the way. Maybe just one. But Doctor Who is and has been one of my favourite shows since I started watching it back in 2006. 17 years ago. So, what do you guys think of Doctor Who? Are you fans? Are you not? Or do you casually just watch? Whatever the situation, please let me know in the comments below. Or you might not watch it at all. In which case, what did you bother watching this video for? Okay, if you enjoyed this video anyway, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and until tomorrow's review, have a magical time. Hey guys, and welcome back to Random Month. This is episode 6. Random Month is because I'm picking things out random to talk about in these episodes. The Simpsons, guys. You know, the Yellow Family created by Matt Groening. The TV series, the animated TV series, has been going since 1989. Yes. The series about the lives and misadventures of the titular cartoon family, The Simpsons, featuring Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie. Now, the very first episode of this show, broadcast on the 17th of December 1989, was a Christmas special, Simpsons roasting on an open fire, and let this episode set the tone for how popular the show would become over the next 30 plus years. Now, currently, as I'm recording this episode, the show has been on the air for nearly 34 years. At the time of recording this episode, it has over 750 episodes to its credit, and is the longest running animated primetime sitcom. I don't think any other animated sitcom's gonna dethrone it. Oh no, sorry, Bob. Yes. Now, I've not seen anywhere near close to every episode of this mammoth of a series, but I've seen enough of them to review the show. And I'm going to actually list off some of my favourite episodes. I'm going to list 5 of my favourite episodes. And those episodes are Bart Gets an F, Krusty gets busted. The Homer they fall. Simpsons roasting on an open fire. And let's just say, because there's a large scope of these things, every Treehouse of Horror special that I've currently seen. I've not seen anywhere near all of those either. Now, the Treehouse of Horror episodes have been going annually since 1990. And no, they haven't aired the episodes exactly on Halloween every year since then. They've gone about a couple of days beyond that as well, and maybe about a couple to a few days prior to. And my least favourite episode out of all the ones I've seen is the season 9 episode 2, The Principal and the Pauper, because it gave us a needless backstory to Principal Skinner. Now, you might disagree with my opinion on this, and I don't care if you do. I just don't like that episode. It's, like I said, it's a pointless backstory. We didn't need to know what Skinner's youth was like. I much preferred the backstory of him being in the army from the earlier seasons. Like when we first found out he was a soldier in the army. Not any soldier, but a sergeant. So, yeah. So, okay guys. So my rating of The Simpsons for every episode I've seen, in full, across the first 20 seasons, I've seen over 400 of these things. So, that is a lot. And there's still lots more to see. So, that's it for this episode, guys, on The Simpsons. For the episodes I have seen, I've liked most of them, with only one that I haven't liked. But what are your opinions of The Simpsons? I know what most of you are going to say already. So that was pointless to ask you that. Anyway, so you'll have to wait until next time to find out what the topic of the next episode's gonna be. But until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and of course subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have a magical time. Dope! Welcome to the Weakest Link. Any of the 9 players here in the studio today could win up to £10,000. They don't know each other. However, if they want the prize money, they'll have to work as a team. 8 of them will leave with nothing, as round by round, we lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team. It's the opening dialogue, or the introduction to every episode of The Weakest Link. The subject of this episode, the 7th in fact, of Random Month, where throughout all of this month, September, I'm picking things at random to review and talk about. Now, when The Weakest Link first started in 2000, it was hosted by the Queen of Mean herself, Anne Robinson. And based on that little introduction I just did, this is how she would introduce every episode. Now, in each round, there is a target of £1,000 to be won for the 9 players. At the start of round 1, they would be given 3 minutes to answer as many questions as they could correctly to try to reach and bank that target. Now, most of the time they would not reach the target. They would bank either too early or too late. And if they got questions wrong, unless the money had been banked, the chain would start again from scratch, and only at the end of each round, whichever was banked would be carried forward to the next round. Now, it would typically be 9 contestants on the show, as I said, but for celebrity versions, it would either be 7, 8, or 9, depending on the amount they were giving away. For 7 or 8 contestants, it would normally be a £20,000 top prize in the celebrity versions. With the target in each round being £2,000 or £2,500. But for the 9-player celebrity editions, the top charitable prize of £50,000 would be involved, and the target in each round would be £5,000. Over the years, they've had such contestants as Amy, who had a degree in media studies and had never heard of an anagram, and Noel, who thought Harry Potter wrote the Harry Potter books. And CJ Demui, yes, of Eggheads fame, CJ Demui, who thought Cole Porter wrote a song called Let's Do Make Love. Okay. And then such celebrity blunders on the show as Wendy Richard thinking Edith Chanel created the Chanel clothing and perfume line. Yeah. Only one person could win, though, in any of these situations. And the original run hosted by Anne Robinson ended in 2012, after 13 series, 1,693 episodes. And then after that, it would only come back for charity events such as Children in Need. But in 2021, a mere 9 years after it originally finished, it came back. Hosted now by one Romesh Ranganathan, and it is an all-star version only. Celebrities are allowed on the show now, and well, the rules are the same. They do something very different with the targets in each round. Now, in the first 2 rounds, the target, well, they're playing for up to £50,000 for their charity, but in the first 2 rounds, it's a £2,500 target. In round 3, that target increases to £5,000 for a couple of rounds. Then in round 4, it goes up to £7,500. Also for a couple of rounds. And then by round 7, then in round 5 it goes up to £7,500. And then by round 7, when there are only 2 contestants left, there's a £10,000 target in the final round, meaning £20,000 is at stake in that round. And now, Romesh isn't as rude as Aaron Robinson used to be. In fact, he plays his job more for laughs than it does for rudeness. But one thing does connect both shows. One simple catchphrase. That catchphrase being, "You are the weakest link. Goodbye." Okay. And now, this might seem like something of a controversial opinion, I hope not. But I prefer the show with Romesh. I know, crucify me. I've just spoken sacrilege about the weakest link. How dare I? It's just my opinion though, guys. How dare I be so blasphemous about it though, eh? It's just my opinion though, guys. Don't crucify me in the comments below. I just think Romesh is a better host than Anne. So shoot me. No, don't do that. Okay. So, guys, that is it for this episode of Random Month. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please like, comment, share and subscribe. You'll have to wait till tomorrow to find out what the next topic's going to be about. But until then, thanks for watching and have a magical time. Goodbye. Hi guys, and welcome back to Random Month for episode 8 of the September season of the Theme Months review series. And now guys, you should have seen this one coming as a topic on the show. Harry Potter. You know, the multi-billion-dollar franchise about a boy wizard? Yeah. Well, I'm going to take you right back to the very beginning of the whole thing. The very thing that actually spawned this whole franchise was the very first book in this long-running franchise. It's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or Sorcerers if you're watching from across the pond. Anyway, this book was released in 1997 in its original UK print, published by Bloomsbury Publishing, written by J.K. Rowling, as were the rest of the books. And this thing sold like a juggernaut, spawning 6 sequels between 1998 and 2007 in print form, and a very successful 8-part film series between 2001 and 2011. The other titles in the series are The Chamber of Secrets, 1998 book, 2002 film, Prisoner of Azkaban, 1999 book, 2004 film, Goblet of Fire, 2000 book, 2005 film, The Order of the Phoenix, 2003 book, 2007 film, The Half-Blood Prince, 2005 book, 2009 film, Deathly Hallows, 2007 book, 2010 Part 1 film, 2011 Part 2 film, Deathly Hallows. Of course, video games based on each film were produced in those years as well as a bunch of games in the interim, such as the Quidditch World Cup, Lego Harry Potter Years 1 to 4, and Lego Harry Potter Years 5 to 7. Hogwarts Mystery for mobile gamers, Wizards Unite for mobile gamers, the biggest gaming event of the year, and the one that actually reignited the franchise back into popularity after it started falling out of favour for reasons that I don't want to mention. Hogwarts Legacy. Oh yeah. An open world RPG set in the Harry Potter universe. As I said, the game was released in the current climate of the situation for the franchise, where certain fans and even cast members from the films have dropped it because they think the author is a transphobe. Newsflash for you idiots, she is not a transphobe. You need to stop thinking with your minds in the gutter about this sort of stuff. All she did was jokingly reply to a tweet. She never actually posted anything. Anyway, with the recent announcement of a TV series reboot of the books, with production getting underway for HBO Max, or just Max now, there's still a lot to look forward to. This TV series is going to be adapting a book per season, and it's going to be a faithful adaptation of the books, which is what us fans have been wanting since day one. Well, those of you who are fans who have read the books before seeing the films. I only read the 7th book before seeing the 7th and 8th films. I went back and read the rest of the books after the fact. But I still prefer them over the films. So, they're the original source material. I forgot to mention one thing, didn't I? The stage play, The Cursed Child. I think the less said about that, the better. Although J.K. Rowling says to consider it canon, that old chestnut, J.K., really? How can it be considered canon if you didn't even write the damn thing? It was written by John Tiffany. And Robert Thorne. And it completely destroys the canon that we know from the books. Take, for example, how time turners work. In the world of Harry Potter, the time turner works in this way. You always have to decide to go back and correct a certain event. So you always went back to do that, so you always will go back to do that. It's a causality loop. And so many alternate timelines are caused with a time turner in that play. I've read the rehearsal script. Scorpius and Albus go back to the first task of the Triwizard Tournament and make it so Cedric doesn't win. That creates an alternate universe, blah 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 blah, this and that. But, okay, now, the way these characters are actually characterized in this film. Now, Cedric, for example, they create an alternate universe where he lost the Triwizard Tournament and was humiliated, so much so that Cedric Diggory, a Hufflepuff, became a freaking Death Eater. I'm not kidding. There's no way Cedric Diggory would do that, even if he were humiliated. And time turners were supposed to be destroyed to correct a plot hole from the earlier books. So, why was it then considered appropriate to undo the fixing of that plot hole and completely destroy it? Changing things we know from the books so that they didn't happen, and making it. Basically, it's about Harry's son, and it's a time travel story with the bare minimum of this stuff shoehorned in. And it's just one thing that we cannot accept with canon Harry Potter. Yes, and that is him telling his son that he wishes he wasn't his son. No, they turn him into a... Okay, they turn him into a dick. Yeah, they did. They turned him into a dick in this play. I was trying to stop myself from saying that, but they did. And Ron was already a walking punchline in the films anyway. So to have him as a walking joke in this... oh, I'm not going to go any further now. But, so what do I like about the franchise and what I don't? Well, I like the books, I like the films. Well, I'm currently doing Hogwarts Mystery as part of the Magical Gaming. It's the 3rd season. And by the time you're seeing this, that season should be about 25, maybe 26, 27, nearly 30 episodes in, whatever. So, I like most of what I've seen and read for this. The only thing I don't like is the Cursed Child. Can you tell? But what are your opinions on the franchise, guys? Let me know in the comments below. Keep the comments respectful. And if I see any transphobe comments appearing about J.K. Rowling, I will delete them, just so you know. Anyway, that's it for this episode of Random Mum. There's a bit of a rant in there, so thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching, as I said before, and have us a magical time. Hi guys, and welcome to episode 9 of Random Mums, the season in Themed Mums, where I pick anything at random and roll with it for a review. So we're going back to 1991 through 92 here to look, or to talk about, a kids TV show called Joshua Jones. So, without further ado, the information you need to know is, well, it's Welsh and English. It was created by Rob Lee, developed by Bob Wilson, written by Bob Wilson, directed by Ian Frampton and John Walker, and starring George Layton and Barbara Flynn, narrated by George Layton, music by Ben Hennigan, and the opening theme is, well, the Joshua Jones song performed by Mal Pope. The ending theme is a shorter version of the same song by Mal Pope. Country of origin, United Kingdom. One series, 12 episodes. Executive producer Christopher Grace, or producers Christopher Grace, Teresa Plummer and Teresa Plummer Andrews, producers Ian Frampton and John Walker, and the editors John Oswald, Jane Morrill, and Ellen Pierce Lewis. Each episode runs for 10 minutes. So that'll take you precisely 2 hours to watch the whole thing. The production company is Bumper Films and Prism Art and Design Limited. And the channels it ran on were BBC One and Channel 5 in the United Kingdom and S4C in Wales. Ran between the 7th of January and 31st of March 1992. So now the characters. Now, obviously there's Josh himself, so the titular character, Joshua Jones. A young man who lives in the carrier's residence and travels by his canal boat with his dog Fairport. His main job is to transport goods along the canals, but he is more than willing to utilize his boat to help out others in a crisis. Admiral Bapu Carrier, a retired Indian admiral who served in the Royal Navy and is always putting his experience to good use in everyday tasks. He is Dapsa's father-in-law and Ravi's grandfather. Dakasha Dapsa Carrier, the Admiral's daughter-in-law and Ravi's mother. She is a very cheerful woman, and her first name is only mentioned in the episode Tortoise and Boomer. Ravi's father never appears, implying that Dapsa may be divorced or a widow. Joseph Lasky, they call him Joe in the show. He's a Hungarian-born farmer who lives on a farm on a hill near the tunnel, and he takes care of his horse Trojan. Daphne Peacock, the local veterinarian who is often called in to take care of sick animals, and she is the only character who is seen to drive a car. However, Joe Lasky is seen driving a tractor in one episode. Daphne Peacock. No, Wilton Cashmore. A local rich busy bee who likes to boss his staff around, especially Spanner. He goes to great lengths to try and impress his own boss. The unseen Mr. Bigot. He can be a nasty man, and at times when he doesn't get what he wants. He is the father of Fiona, but his wife and Fiona's mother is never seen or mentioned on the show, implying that Mr. Cashmore may be a widow or divorced. Mr. Bigot, Wilton's boss, although he never appears. Mr. Cashmore speaks to him on the phone in almost every episode. The closest the bigots get to being seen by the audience is in the episode Haywire. Even that doesn't happen. Mrs. Bigot, Mr. Bigot's wife, and like her husband, she never appears. She is only mentioned in the episode Haywire. Teenagers. Okay, we have here Sharon Cope, a ditzy but bubbly blonde lady who sells food from her bistro wagon by the canal. And Spencer Spanner Wilkins. Sharon's boyfriend, a lazy, accident-prone, orange-haired chap in his early 20s, not a teenager then, who does odd jobs for Cashmore and various other characters. He often skives off work to go and eat at Sharon's cafe. And the children, Ravi Carrier, an 8-year-old boy, Daxter's son and Bapu's grandson, and Fiona Cashmore, an 8-year-old girl, Wilton Cashmore's daughter. Animals: Fairport, a terrier crossbreed dog, Joshua's faithful animal friend. Trojan, Joe's brown horse. Boomer, a colourful parrot who was once loaned to the Admiral. And Tearaway Trevor, Ravi's pet tortoise. And then the episodes themselves. And in the order they originally aired are Horseplay. When Trojan the horse falls into the canal, Joshua Jones comes to the rescue. That first aired on the 7th of January, 1992. Haywire. All of these are directed by John Walker. That's right. Haywire. There is a storm brewing and Spanner is helping Joe Lasky fetch his hay. Meanwhile, Mr. Cashmore is organising a buffet for Mr. Bigot. That first aired on the 14th of January, 1992. Treasure. Spanner, Cashmore and Sharon go digging for treasure when they find a supposed treasure map. First aired on the 21st of January, 1992. Boomer. Josh rescues Ravi and Fiona from the weir when they get lost while looking for Boomer, the parrot, who has escaped. First aired on the 28th of January, 1992. Tortoise. One of Spanner's meat pies is mistaken for Ravi's tortoise. First aired on the 4th of February, 1992. Sting. When some chemicals infect Fairport's eyes, Josh's friends organise a sponsored walk for the ointment his dog needs. Cashmore sponsors Spanner, knowing he will not get far. But some treacle pudding and a swarm of wasps proves him wrong. First aired on the 11th of February, 1992. Spook. Ravi and Fiona believe there is a ghost in Joe's barn. Meanwhile, Wilton Cashmore's new burglar alarm is proving unpopular. First aired on the 18th of February, 1992. Plum Crazy. Admiral Carrier needs to find an easy way to pick the plums from his plum tree. First aired on the 25th of February, 1992. Paperwork. After decorating her cafe van, Spanner takes Sharon on a picnic, but the wind teaches them not to throw litter around. First aired on the 3rd of March, 1992. Photo finish. Josh has made a raft for Ravi, but disaster strikes when Cashmore borrows it to fish out Mr. Bigger's birthday present from the canal. First aired on the 17th of March, 1992. Snake Chase. Daphne Peacock is looking for her grass snake, but mayhem ensues when it meets Trojan the horse. First aired on the 24th of March 1992. And finally, The Silver Key. Admiral Carrier is determined to win the lock competition. Meanwhile, Joshua and Joe have trouble with a runaway tire. First aired on the 31st of March 1992, and that was the final episode of the series. And well, there were some home releases. We mainly got it on VHS over here. And DVD release was only available in Australia. Really? Oh, and Poland. Yes, despite being a British show, it was never officially released over here. And the BBC no longer own the rights to it, so they can't put it out. So now I have the DVD of the series that I bought from a website called The Stress Store. And I'd just like to point out that these are copies of the episodes, but that's the only way to get them now. Public domain, people. Public domain. And so my review of the show, it was one of my nostalgic favourites. And just watching the episodes again, even though I got most of them watched on that DVD, was a true blast from the past. So guys, that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, share and subscribe. You'll have to wait till next time to find out what I'm going to be reviewing next. Until then though, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have us a magical time. Watch this wherever you go. Down by the roadside, or anywhere the internet goes. La 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 la. Cause that's where he goes. Hey guys, welcome to episode 10 of Random Month. The season where throughout all of this month, September, I'm picking topic or reviews at random and going with them. Now, it's time to go back to the world of Power Rangers for the second time this season. This time to review the 8th season, which would be the 6th series. Yeah, the 8th season, that would be Lightspeed Rescue. So, 5 young adults are recruited by the Lightspeed Rescue Organization to protect the city of Marina Bay from the forces of evil. Okay. And the stars of the show are Michael Shatturandabut as the Blue Lightspeed Ranger. I actually believe that he has a name. His name's Chad. Why don't you use it on here, IMDb? Okay. Sean C.W. Johnson as Carter Grayson. Alison McInnes as Dana Mitchell. Keith D. Robinson as the Green Lightspeed Ranger. Joel. Again, use the character's name. Okay. Sasha Craig as Kelsey Winslow. Monica Lawrence, Lou Warrens as Miss Angela Fairweather. Ron Roger as Captain Mitchell. Captain William Mitchell. Jennifer L. Yen as Vipra, one of the villains. Kim Strauss as Jinxer. Rhett Fisher as the Titanium Ranger. That's Ryan Mitchell, by the way. David Lodge as Loki. Neil Kaplan as Diabolico. Terence J. Rotolo as Olympius. Michael Forrest as Olympius. Did he regenerate? Okay. Diane Salinger as Queen Banshira. Brian Brosey as Impus. Michael Sorich as Gatekeeper in 5 of the episodes, and Ezra Weiss as Falkar in 4 of the episodes. No Pink Ranger listed. Oh yeah, sorry. Pink Ranger is Dana Mitchell, sorry. But why it doesn't list the Blue and Green Rangers by name, and Titanium Rangers by name, I have no idea. Honestly, I don't. Anyway, there are 40 episodes in this season. It ran from 2000 to 2001 according to H-Man. Good. That's just the main cast. Now, do we have any guest appearances? Yes, we do. From the Lightspeed Rangers, the previous team, they come into it when Trakina crosses over into the show. and they have to face off against her. And that would be the Galaxy Rangers, by the way. Now if we go all cast and crew, because there's some more to list. We have Alonzo Bodden as Thunderon. And then we have Camera Walton as Marina the Mermaid, or Mariner the Mermaid. And then if for 2 episodes, as I said, we have the brief return of the previous team. And for more information on them, just watch my Lost Galaxy review. Now, what do I think of... Oh wait, some other cast. Never mind. Well, I think it's a good series, and it's definitely worth watching if you haven't already seen it. Now guys, that's it for this review. The series itself actually only ran in 2000, not 2000 to 2001. And the 40 episodes that make it up are fantastic. It's one of my favourite post-Mighty Morphin seasons, actually. So, that's it for this episode. As usual, I had to wait till next episode to find out what it's going to be a review of. But until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have us a magical time. Hey, and welcome back to, well, this is episode 11 of Random Month. The show where, well, the season of the theme month show where through this month in September, I'm picking things out random to review. I'm going back to another nostalgic favourite of mine for this episode. He's a little wooden doll who lives in a land of toys, who jingles when he walks and nods his head. It's Noddy, based on the books by Enid Blyton, but the TV series that I'm talking about is the one I grew up with. So that would be Noddy's Toyland Adventures. which first aired in 1992 on the BBC, created by the good folks at Cosgrove Hall here in Great Britain. It tells the story of the adventures of Noddy. As I said before, he's a young wooden doll who jingles when he walks and nods his head. That's because he has a bell on the end of his hat. He drives around in his little yellow car, taking other members of Toyland's community back and forth and around Toyland. His friends include garden gnome Big Ears, who lives in a toadstool house, Jumbo rides a bicycle, Jumbo the elephant, Mr. Plod the policeman, the only policeman in Toyland, I might add. The Tubby Bears, that's Mr. and Mrs. Tubby and their son, Master Tubby. Tessie Bear is Noddy's best friend. Bumpy Dog, Tessie Bear's dog. And yes, then we have Mr. Sparks, the mechanic. Miss Pink Cat. Mr. Straw the farmer. The train driver and porter at the railway station. We never learn their actual names. The Skittles. Dinah Doll, who runs a market stall. And Sammy Sailor, who as his name would suggest, is a sailor. And in the early series, we also have Mr. Milko, the milkman. And we also have Martha Monkey. I also forgot to mention her before. And we also have another monkey, Bert Monkey, whose tale is the central plot of the story Noddy and the Naughty Tale. And then as far as antagonists in the series go, we have the goblins, Sly and Gobbo. So, yeah, there you go. There's all the characters of Toyland. They each have storylines for them, about them. Noddy and the Goblins being the main one for the goblins. The first one we ever meet them in which Sly tricks Noddy into driving him into the dark wood so he and Gobbo can steal his car and take it for a joyride. I think I forgot to mention two characters. We have Mr. and Mrs. Noah as well on the ark with their animals. There's a whole episode where the giraffes refuse to wear a scarf. Make about what you will, yes, I did just rhyme. In order to avoid catching cold. They already have sore throats, by the way. And in the episode in which they're causing the trouble, members of the community in Toyland are cross because things are being knocked out of place, such as brick tiles and signposts and a mast. Now, the show itself ran for 4 series, between 1992 and I believe 1996. So they did take some time off in between production. Now, I didn't come close to watching all of these episodes, but the ones I remember fondly, I've actually given you the synopsis of a couple of those. So, but it's still a nostalgic favourite of mine no matter what, and always will be. So that's it. That's it for this review, guys. As usual, tomorrow you'll have to wait and see what the review's gonna be. But until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have us a magical time. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 12 of Random Months, the season of the themed months where I pick anything at random to review and just roll with it. And for this episode, I'm going to be talking about a reality type TV show on Netflix, a competition based one, in which bakers go on to try and fool judges with cakes that look like real things, to try and win the cash prize of $50,000. Is it cake? Yeah, there you go. Or specifically, is it cake 2? Now here's how the structure of each episode works. In every episode, the contestants would have to first find that cake, which is actually a round in which they determine who goes into the actual bakery area to bake their cakes by seeing who can spot the cake in a mass of items. And whoever spots it the fastest is the first to go through. Now, then they'll be given between 8 and 10 hours to bake their cakes with decoys. Now, each episode has a theme to it, and the theme could be anything from sports to toys to homeware. And in each episode there would also be judges there to judge which the cakes or which of the items is real and which one is cake, and then to make their final judgment on who wins and goes through to the next round, or the finale. And there's a cash prize available between $10,000 and Well, it $10,000, but it rolls over if they don't win it. It's $5,000 for actually being put through, and then another 5, 10, 15, whatever thousand for the last round. Cash or cake, cake or cash, where if they're able to win it, they get the extra, they win the extra money. And the last person standing by the end of the season is the winner and wins the money. The top cash prize. There are 2 seasons so far. My brother and I have been watching them actually in the complete reverse order. We started with season 2 and have gone back to watch season 1. But we've enjoyed every episode we've seen so far. It is a great show, and I couldn't recommend it highly enough. But this episode of Random Month, I've just got one thing to say to you now, guys. Is a cake. Okay, so that's it for this review, guys. As usual, you have to wait till next time to find out what the next review is going to be about or of. So until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have us a magical cake time. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 13 of Random Month, the season of the Theme Month series of reviews, in which I pick something at random to review and roll with it. Quiz. The drama based off the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire scandal. Now, I've already covered the show itself 8 episodes ago, so if you want to check that review out, it's episode 5 of the season. Now, what this drama actually does is dramatize the whole story, the whole true story of the Ingrams and their cheating road to $1 million. It's a 3-part drama. It actually details the creation of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and its success right through to the scandal, which is its main narrative. It all started when Diana Ingram's brother Adrian Pollock applied to go on the show and became a fastest finger contestant 4 times before finally getting into the hot seat. And he got up to £32,000 and bowed out graciously. Then came Diana's turn to go on the show, and she fell somewhat less graciously at the same hurdle as her brother did. So then came Charles's turn. Now at the same time, on his first night, he had his brother-in-law Adrian in the audience watching him, as well as Diana. Now Diana had Adrian in the audience watching her as well. Now Charles began playing well, but things started to get a bit dodgy on the second night. He left on £4,000 on the first night and came back with a cheating plan in motion. A strategy devised by him, his wife Diana, and another fastest finger contestant, Tequin Whittock. Basically, the strategy was for them to cough every time Charles hovered over an incorrect answer, or over a correct answer, helping him cheat his way to the top prize. Now, yes, the producers on the studio floor noticed what was going on, as did the people on the relay working on the editing of the show. They noticed it as well. And so this is where the whole scandal happened. It blew up into the scandal. Charles's check for the million was stopped, obviously. He and Diana were arrested on a charge of conspiracy to attain a valuable asset, in this case £1 million, by deception. And Tequin Whittock was also charged with co-conspiracy. And in the end, they were found guilty of their crimes and sentenced to an 18-month suspended sentence, which is no time at all, considering what they did. Now, this was also documented on a Newsnight special by Martin Bashir. I should have actually mentioned that in my review of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You can see that documentary on YouTube, by the way. And, well, I think this is one of the best dramas that's ever been put out based on a true story. And it is way worth a watch. Well worth a watch. And that's my final answer. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please like, comment, share and subscribe. You'll have to wait till next time to find out what the next review is going to be of. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. I think I've already said that. Thanks for watching and have a magical time. Oh, hi guys, and welcome to episode 14 of Random Month, the season of the Theme Months review show, where throughout this whole month of September, I'm picking reviews at random. So, what am I reviewing for number 14? Well, it's a quiz show where they invite you to come on and, well, say what you see. That's right, catchphrase. In each episode, there will be either two or most recently three contestants invited to come on and play the game that invites you to see what you see, say what you see even, to try and win big money. Or in one case, just points. And a holiday. Now, over the years, the show's been going since 1986 here in Great Britain, where it first started. And over the years, since its beginnings, the show has been hosted by quite a few different presenters. Roy Walker was its original presenter when the show started back in 1986 and stayed on as presenter until the late 1990s. And in his era, two contestants would come on to try and win thousands of pounds. Now, the way each show was structured was there would be contestants coming on to play the game to try and make it to the super catchphrase. Now, in Roy Walker's era, round one was just a bunch of normal catchphrases. Now, Mr. Chips would actually be in the animations for the catchphrases. And they'd have to wait till they hear the bell to buzz in and give their answers. That was then followed by the Ready Money round. In which there was no bell and they could buzz in anytime they want. With the right answer, it would add more money to their pot. Now, of course, there would be bonus catchphrases as well, and they would put as much as 250 or more into the bonus bank. That's £250, by the way, guys. And whoever has the most money by the end of the game goes through to the super catchphrase, which in those days was 25 lettered squares. And you could either go from left to right or diagonally. And the star prize would always be the M square. Nick Weir then took over in 2000 and would host the show until 2002. Now, round one in his era was still normal, and there was still some kind of signal to buzz in. The star prize there was always a holiday, as was it with Roy Walker. Here's round two, though, was the cash countdown. So, an updated version of the Ready Money round, if you will. Now, when he left the show, Mark Curry took over in 2002 and only hosted it in 2002. Didn't last long. And this is where it was changed from cash to points. And, well, it was not the best era of the show, obviously. Now, after 2002, the show was then off the air for 11 years until 2013, when ITV brought the show back, now hosted by Stephen Mulhern. And this is where it differed. There were now 3 contestants playing the main game to try and win money, and they gave away spot prizes to go along with the money at certain rounds. In round 1, questions were worth £100 each, with I think it was like £200 in the bonus bank. And players were frozen out if they gave the wrong answers. In round 2, correct answers for catchphrases were then worth £200, with a £500 bonus, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, in round 3, the prize for each correct answer was then taken up to £500. And I think there was then, yes, £1,000 bonus. And this would be the round that decides who goes through to the super catchphrase. The super catchphrase here was a pyramid of 14 blocks, and the star prize again was always a holiday. Unless there were celebrities playing, in which the star prize would then be doubling the charity prize pot for the other contestants as well as the one playing the super catchphrase. Now, if I got some of the information wrong, it's genuinely because I couldn't remember how it's structured these days, since episodes only seem to come on at special occasions now, and there's an all-star one. They dropped the normal contestant format ages ago. So guys, that's it for this review. It's a good game show. However, the disappointment is there's no new episodes. Except for special occasions now. So that's it for this review. You'll have to wait till tomorrow to find out what the next one's going to be. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a magical time. Hey guys, welcome to episode 15 of Random Month, the season of the Theme Months review series, where I'll pick anything random to review and review it. So, we're getting into some sketch comedy for this episode with Harry Enfield and Chums. Now, for those of you from outside the UK, Harry Enfield and Chums is a British comedy sketch show performed by Harry Enfield, Kathy Burke, and some other bloke, mainly Harry Enfield and Kathy Burke. And basically, the sketches would involve such characters as Kevin the Teenager, bless me, who is actually introduced in the series alongside his best friend Perry. They are played by Harry Enfield and Kathy Burke, as well as returning characters such as the Slobs, Wayne and Waynetta, also played by Enfield and Burke, and Tim Tim Nice But Dim, and a whole host of others. Every sketch is very funny in its own right. Now, the show ran for 2 series in the 1990s, and it was actually a follow-up show to his first sketch show, the Harry Enfield's television program. So why aren't I reviewing that one first? Well, you don't want to do that. Okay. Because Harry Enfield and Chums is the better of the 2 shows, okay? So, in my opinion. And now it ran for 12 episodes and a Christmas special. And if you're a fan of sketch comedies, you should definitely give this one a chance. And now, some of my favourite sketches involving some of these characters. Well, my favourite Kevin sketch is, and always will be, all of them. Yeah, I know it's cheating to say that, but I like all of them equally. Okay, my favourite Tim Tim Nice But Dim sketch would be the one where he finds himself owing £5 million in debt to the bank and being thrown out on the streets to become a vagabond. Okay. Now, I know I've just used the old-fashioned name for a homeless right there, but I don't care. Now, as for my favourite slob sketch, it's a bit hard for me to admit to that one, so, because I don't want to, so I'm not going to mention that one. for obvious reasons. Now, a lot of the sketches in the show, well, in fact, probably all of the sketches in the show would be considered, well, too much of the C word. I'm not going to say the C word, but too much of the C word today. And they would never be allowed due to the politically correct world. Yeah, politically correct, woke world we live in. And there'd be complaints all over the internet about it if it happened today. Oh, how times change. Anyway, so that is basically the review. It's a bit difficult to review a sketch comedy show. Owing to the type of show it is. So, but it's a good show for the time it was made in. And for any of you out there who were fans of the show from when you saw it on TV, let me know in the comments what your favourite sketches were. I know I actually didn't mention Naughty Harry and Lulu. Or the old ladies or whatever, or the Scousers don't appear in this series, nor do Smashy and Nicey. But anyway, that's it for this review. You'll have to wait till next time, being tomorrow, to find out what the next review is going to be of. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and do have a magical time. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 16 of Random Month, the season of the Random Month review series, in which I pick anything random to review and just go with it. So, for those of you for those of you worldwide who know what who know of this show, it's The Chase. Now I'm going to talk about our original UK version in this episode. It's hosted by Bradley Walsh, started around 2009, and it invites a team of 4 contestants to try and pit their wits against one of 7 chasers, if I'm not mistaken. The chasers are, Sean Wallace, the Dark Destroyer, Jenny Ryan, the Vixen, Dara Ennis, the Menace, Mark Labette, the Beast, Anne Hegarty, the Governess, and Paul Sinner, the Cinnamon. And in each episode, one of these chasers would come out and offer money on the table for the contestant to try and make it home with. Now, they do have a cash build around for the contestant who's called forth each time to build up as much money as they can to take to the main game. Now, it's normally it's £1,000 per question, and they normally, on average, tend to be able to take through £4,000. Some amounts higher sometimes. The higher amounts, or the lower amounts, can go anywhere as low, from what I've seen, as £1, while the high amounts can go anywhere up to £100,000, I think. Now, there are literally thousands of episodes of this in the current day. I've not seen them all. That would be impossible to have seen them all. But I've seen enough of them to talk about the show here. Now, the original 5 chasers the ones the show debuted with. Hang on a minute, was it 5 or 4? I think I might have got the number of chasers there are now wrong. I think there's 6 of them. Whoops, my mistake. The chasers the show started with were the Cinnamon, the Beast, the Dark Destroyer, and the Governess. The Vixen joined the show quite a bit into its run, and well, the Menace actually started out as a contestant on the show and became a chaser straight afterwards. You know, that reminds me of a spin-off from another quiz show on the BBC that I'm hoping to get around to reviewing. Later on this season, if time permits. Anyway, it is usually the case where the contestants end up getting caught by the chasers, and at least 1 or 2 of them still get through to the final chase, where all the money they've accumulated throughout the main game is at stake. Can they push the chaser back, or will they get caught? Now, what really makes the show fun to watch is Bradley himself. He's the perfect choice of host for a show like this, with his sense of humour. Now, I think, even though this is the chase I'm talking about, I should point out he's been a host on other quiz shows like Wheel of Fortune and Cash Trapped. So, yeah, he's been right around the block as far as quiz shows are concerned, because he also hosts a modern version of Blankety Blank. Yeah, so... But anyway, what do I think of the chase? Well, let's cut right to it, shall we? It's a brilliant quiz show, and worth watching if you think you can actually play along at home. So, that's it for this review, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have us a magical time. And stay tuned for the next episode, where you'll have to wait and see what I pick to review. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 17 of Random Month, the season of the themed month series of reviews in which I pick something at random to review and just go with it. So, what am I going to be reviewing in this episode? Well, it's an English/Welsh kids TV show set in the fictional Welsh village of Pontypandy, about the life of a fireman and his crew. Yes, that's right, it's Fireman Sam, the classic series, which first hit British TV screens in 1987 and ran from there on out for 4 series and with episodes of 10 minutes each and a Christmas special of 20 minutes. So altogether the original series ran for 33 episodes. That's if you count the Christmas special, Snow Business. The very first episode was The Kite, in which Sarah and James want to go and fly their kite. So Trevor Evans, the bus driver, takes them to the field or the park to go kite flying, but ends up falling and hurting his arm. Now, yes, this episode introduces us to all the villagers of Pontypandy. Well, not quite all, because there's still one member of the crew for the fire service is introduced a few episodes down the line. So, the characters in this series are Sam himself, the titular fireman, Elvis Cridlington, and Station Officer Steele, the men at the fire station. Later, there's Penny Morris as well, firefighter Penny Morris. And then we also have Trevor Evans, the bus driver, but they always say Trevor Evans the bus in the episodes. He's also an auxiliary fireman. Dilys Price, the owner of the general store, and Bella Lasagna, the operator of the cafe just opposite the general store. And, well, we only have 3 children living in this village, and those are the twins, Sarah and James, that's Sam's nephew and niece, and Dillis's son, Norman. Yeah, if um, if you get the joke there, Dillis runs a general store. The joke is their names. They're the Price family. The mother is named Dillis, and she's the proprietor of the store. Dillis Price. The list Price. And her son is Norman. Norman Price. Normal Price. And Norman's character is basically that he's a mischievous little scamp who likes going around playing pranks on people, especially the men at the fire station. And he does get himself into quite a bit of trouble with these pranks, but he always learns his lesson from things they do to teach him them at the end, and never does them again. Now, the way the series is broken up is 4 series, obviously, most of which are 8 episodes long each. Snow Business falls into the Series 2 category. So we have an 8-episode Series 1, 9-episode Series 2, 8-episode Series 3, and 8-episode Series 4. Of course, we have a Halloween episode within the show, which just has the kids going around trick-or-treating. What else would it have? There's a camping episode, in which Sam takes Sarah and James camping. And they run into some trouble involving matches and a fire. Duh! And of course, Bella is Italian, and Dillis, I don't think I should quite mention this, but I will anyway, just to give you the information as it is vital to the review. Dillis goes off on these little kind of racist rants about Bella being Italian, about her being foreign, to be precise. That's a fine message to send to kids, guys. Come on. You are aware these are your target audience, aren't you? Okay. Sarcasm aside, this is one of my favourite kids' TV shows of the past. Something I did indeed grow up with. So, Guys, let me know in the comments below if you're fans of classic Fireman Sam and not that absolute rubbish they're airing these days, the CGI rubbish. Let me know what your favourite episodes of classic Fireman Sam are in the comments below. Not forgetting to mention, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. You'll have to wait till next time to find out what the next review is going to be. Thanks for watching and have a magical time. Oh, this one might take you back if you remember these guys. The Hoobs. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 18 of Random Month, the season of the Theme Months review series where I pick anything at random and review it. So we're going back to 1999 through 2004, when Channel 4 first began airing this little show called The Hoobs. Now, what is it about? Well, it's about these little Muppet alien creatures called Hoobs. Either is purple male with a green tuft of hair on his head, Groove is male green all over, including his tuft of hair. Tula is female and pink, also funnily enough with a green tuft of hair. We're actually seeing a pattern here. Roma is orange or yellow, whatever colour you want to say she is. Female, because I've just said she, with a pink tuft of hair. And Hubba Hubba get your mind out of the gutter, is male blue, yes, blue all over, and he's the one that gives the Hoobs their missions from Hoobland. Now, Roma traverses the world to search for things she's going to give her reports on, based on the Hoobs' questions. Well, the Hoobs themselves travel around in a Hoobmobile. Now, what is a Hoobmobile? Well, it's a camper van spaceship. Yes, a camper van spaceship that is powered by music. Inside its engine are 3 little motorettes who sing all the songs and play the instruments to make the Hoobmobile go. And the Hoobs visit, well, human children. But, of course, they call our world the Peep Planet. So naturally, the children are called Tiddly Peeps. I'm not joking. So that means the adults, not that many of them are ever seen in the show, are called Peeps. You with me here? Now, the show ran for an impressive 250 episodes over its time on TV. Of course, because as I said before, they were created by the Jim Henson Workshop. And you'd be making a right muppet of yourself if you didn't know this. So... oh dear. I said 1999 to 2004, didn't I? I might have got the dates a bit wrong there. It's been a long time since I've last searched anything up. So, what are some of the episodes and questions the Hoobs have asked? Now, I forgot now. I was telling you how the shows are structured. Now, how the shows are actually structured is it would begin, each episode would begin with the Hoobs doing some sort of activity. One of them would ask a question, Hubba Hubba would appear on screen, repeat the question, and send them on the mission to find out the answer. And this is where visits to the Tiddly Peeps and reports from Roma would come into play. And the first episode is literally called Finding Out. And it's basically just them learning how things work here on Earth. So... now, of course, the Hoobs being aliens... have different physiologies from us, as we learn in certain episodes. Like, for example, in the episode Dreams, we learn that Hoobs don't have dreams. How do they sleep then? Okay. And Groove's been getting them because he's been mixing with the Tiddly Peeps. And in the episode Getting Better, we learn that the Hoobs cannot fall ill. And we learn this after Ivor starts to feel hot and cold flushes. So apparently Hoobland is a place where you get a bit of perfect health. Now, a young Hoob, contrary to what the show might have you believe, is not called a Tiddly Hoob. No, it's a Hooblet. What? Their beds are called Hoobie Pods. And some of the foods they eat, okay. Hoobo Blubbers. I don't know how to describe it. Sorry. Hoobie Fruitcake. It's basically just a fruit cake, but a differently made one. And Hoobie cheese sandwiches. It's just like bread with green cheese. And to make it flat, you hit it with a hammer. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, can you? No. Okay. Now, So, what's the Hoob's language like then? Well, I've already been saying one word quite frequently throughout this video. Tiddly-peep is is a Hoobism for a child. A peep is a Hoobism for an adult. The Peep Planet is the Hoobism for the Earth. Okay. Now, Hoobly Groobly Fantabby Hooby and Hoobacious are all Hoobisms for good, fantastic, and well, really, really good. Okay, and of course, a Hoobie pod, as I've just said, is a Hoob's bed. Hoobie Boo Boo. No, it's not what you think it is. Get your minds out of the gutter. I'm about to tell you what it is. It's a mistake. Yeah, it's their word for a mistake. Okay. Now, now, I think the easiest words probably to understand, apart from these last, from everything else. Are you ready for this? Hoobledoop is how they say hello, and Hoobletoodledoo is goodbye, which is basically just something we would say for goodbye with Hooble in front of it. I'm not kidding. Okay. Now, so what are some of the other episodes and some of the questions? You might be wondering. Cakes. The question in that is, which peep cake would a Hoob like best? Peep cake. A cake from Earth. There you go. Because in that episode, Toola's actually fed up with being the only Hoob who makes a the Hooble fruit cake, and so Ivor offers to make a cake for her, a peep cake, and so that then, yeah, there we go. Groove asks a question, and they are sent off on a mission to find out about it. But what's the answer to the question? A Hoob-shaped cake. What else? I mean, come on. And promises. Okay, now this is a very straightforward one. It's about keeping promises. And the question is, how can we make Groove keep his promises? Because in the episode, Groove is the one who keeps making promises and breaking them. That's something very, very relatable to everyone, not just the target audience for this show I'm reviewing. Which is Tiddly-peeps, by the way. Come on! I hope I'm not making a Hoobie boo-boo by reviewing this show. Anyway, moving on. Now, the episode Dreams is about dreams and the Hoobs learning how they come about, basically. After Groob dreams that he was dancing with a mermaid. Now, we're told very early on that the Hoobs don't like getting wet. So why would Groove be dancing with a mermaid? He is adamant that he did this until he is told by the Tiddly Peeps that he was dreaming it. Now, there are a couple of episodes in which Groove does Roma's reports for her, and the reason why is because she's visiting the Hoobs at the time the episodes are taking place. Okay. Now, the final episode of the series is called This Is Hooble Toodle Doo, and it puts a cap on the series very nicely. The Hoobs are called back to Hoobland after their few years on Earth learning how things work, and to the extent teaching us how things in Hoobland work. So what do I think of the Hoobs? What's that? I can hear him coming. Hubba, 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 hubba. What do I think of the Hoobs? Now that is an excellent question for today's Hoob News. I'm just kidding, guys. Anyway, after hearing me gush about the Hoobs for a quarter of an hour, it's time to say what I think. Well, it's one of my favourite shows. It's a nostalgic favourite of mine, actually. Shame it can't be seen anymore. And if any of you remember the show from when it was on, what are your thoughts of it? I seriously would like to know this. Because that's it for this review. And, well, guys, this is normally the point where I say you'll have to wait till next time to find out what the next review is going to be about, but there's not going to be a next review. The reason being is this is the final episode of the Themed Month review series. The reason being is I was finding it difficult to find things to review. So, I hate to disappoint, but there won't be a Monster Month next month. But I do have something special lined up for November, being the month of Doctor Who's 60th anniversary. Not a season of this. Whovember. I'll see you for Whovember, but I'm going to take a month off from making these type of review shows on the fly, especially ones that I have to work on daily or bi-daily or whatever. So that's it for the Themed Month review series. I hope you've enjoyed the past 7 seasons. And the past 167 shows. So I guess then If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and hooble toodle doo!